Okay, good evening everyone. So what have I got here? I have two little cabinet locks sent to me by a colleague of mine actually in work who has them on a box and I think a drawer, so a box lid and a drawer that were given to him by his father, and he's lost the keys. So I asked him I set a time to send them to me and I'd have a look at them. So I'll have a quick look at these and I'll tell you what I'm going to do with them. This one is a bog standard warded key cabinet lock. Nothing hugely exciting. Single lever and a double bolt on a single bolt mechanism, but double latch. So that shouldn't be too difficult. I found some keys. I've got two or three here that I have in my little key drawer. The bits, I think that one will fit quite nicely. It goes in just at the moment, so that means that's probably about the right height. And I can cut a warding cut into that, and then hopefully match it to the lever, and everything should be fine. So that's my plan with that one. This one's a little bit different. I couldn't quite work out how this one worked because I couldn't see a lever in it, but the bolt definitely doesn't want to move across. Luckily, this one will come apart. The lugs holding in are just slightly oversized for the holes in the plate. So what I can do is, as I've done on others, you can just very gently apply a bit of pressure by rotating a screwdriver, and if you do it nice and carefully, eventually you'll feel it just give and that plate will pop off. Now, first thing to note, it is gopping in there. As my aunt would say, it's manky as anything. So we're going to get rid of all that fluff, and actually what we can see is there's no warding in there at all. I thought there would have been, but there isn't. The pin, central pin, is very weak, so we'll solder that back into a solid position. Now the interesting bit actually is the fact that the mechanism is a dual bolt stroke lever at the same all-in-one. So what you can see, if I've got a little pointy bit of metal here, you've got your bolt here with the usual cutout for the key to go into, but against this edge of the lock body there is another little notch. There's a little notch cut out. So what has to happen is, as the key turns round, it has to lift the mechanism up very slightly and slide it along at the same time. You can see here we've got quite a solid spring actually. It takes quite a lot of force to push back. And then exactly the same thing to unlock. The unlocking process has to, try and hold this in place, lift and push at the same time. You could probably just about lock it without too much of a lift, but the unlock definitely needs a lift and a push. So that'll be an interesting one. I need to find a key that's got the long enough end to it. I think this one probably does. If it will fit in, yeah, definitely long enough. And what we'll need to do is make sure it gets enough of a force and enough of a lift just to get it in. So what we're going to do, clean these up, both of them. We'll make some keys for them and put them back together again, send them back to my colleague. Okay, let's see what happens. Give or take, I say about an hour of work in total. Not hugely difficult. This one was a lovely little lock. This pin in the centre was a right pain. It's come loose again. It did retighten quite well when I tapped it with a hammer a little bit, and I thought I'd done it, but now I look at it, there's still a little bit of movement, so might just get a little dab of solder on the back there, tighten it up a little. But here we have a key. It's an amazingly basic key. So in this case, you put it in. It fits in perfectly well when the central pin lines up. and we have a bit of open, and we have a bit of close. So the close isn't great. I might have over cut that bit a little too far, but it does work, even if it takes a second twist to get it going. So I'll sort that middle pin out, and that one's good to go. This one was a little bit more difficult, although not complex in any way. Single ward, just at the bottom there. There we are. So that's what my key looks like. You can see that there's very little difference in height between the tip that is moving the bolt and moving the bolt, which is at the back here, and the bit that's moving the lever, which is the tip here. I reckon there's probably less than a millimetre's difference there, but it really only needed an absolute touch on the lever to move it out the way. So again, this one's probably it's a nicer lock, a little bit more solid. So here we go. There's the bolts coming across, and there are bolts coming back again. So lovely little job, nice and simple. As I say, I reckon an hour in total there. A little bit of fettling, almost as I say, I almost went too far with that one. I might make another key now that I've got a former, and make it another, another mil higher. It's not as if I don't have enough keys lying around. But that's me for tonight. Hope that was vaguely interesting to people. Hopefully it'll be cut down to a moderately short 3 or 4 minute video, although my videos are never short. Okay, all the best, good night, North Star.